Have you ever wished you could, predict the future? What if I told you there's a simple but really powerful tool that helps us do just that? And it uses data we already have. It's a way to see the hidden patterns all around us.
So in this explainer, we are diving into one of the most fundamental ideas in data science, linear regression. It's this incredible technique for finding clear, simple patterns in what can look like, well, just a bunch of messy, noisy data. Let's get into it.
Okay, so first up, predicting with data. Let's start with the basic problem. A lot of the time, we just want to predict a number, right? Like the future price of a house, or the score you might get on a test, maybe even tomorrow's weather. The questions are there, but the answers, they're hiding in the data.
I mean, we all have an intuitive sense for these things. We just know that some things are connected. We feel that if we study for more hours, our exam marks are probably going to be better. More experience in a job usually means a higher salary. These relationships are absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, that's the real question, isn't it? It's one thing to have a hunch, a gut feeling, but it's something else entirely to say, okay, if I study for exactly 10 hours, I predict I'll get a score of 85. We need a tool that can take us from just intuition to actual information.
And you know what? The answer is beautifully simple. It's a straight line. The tool we use is called linear regression, and its whole power lies in drawing one single line that tells a story.
The whole thing starts right here with what's called a scatter plot. We just take all the info we have, say a list of houses that have sold, and we plot each one as a single dot. Here you can see house size along the bottom and the price on the side. Yeah, it looks a bit messy, but trust me, the pattern is in there somewhere.
So our goal is to find what's called the line of best fit. And this isn't just any old line. It's the one single line that most accurately captures the trend that's hiding in all those scattered data points. And boom, this shows it perfectly. The algorithm draws the line. All of a sudden, that chaos has a direction. It just cuts right through the noise and gives us a clear summary of the relationship. And that's exactly why we call it linear, because it's all about finding the best line.
Okay, so we get the goal now. But how does it actually work? How do we find that one perfect line? And more importantly, how do we then use it to predict things?
Well, it really boils down to this simple three-step process. First, you start with what you know, your past data. Then, the computer does the heavy lifting of drawing that best-fitting line. And from there on out, you can use that line to make some really solid educated guesses about the future.
And what's so cool about this slide is you can see just how practical it is. If you want to predict the score for someone who studied, say, 30 hours, you just find 30 on the bottom, go straight up to that red line, and then look across to find the predicted score. It's like a visual prediction machine.
So this is the really crucial part. What does best actually mean? See all those little vertical lines? Each one of those is the error. It's the distance between our prediction on the line and what actually happened. The line of best fit is the one that makes the average length of all those little error lines as small as it can possibly be.
Now, this is not just some academic exercise for predicting test scores. No way. This simple idea is a total workhorse in pretty much every industry you can think of. So let's look at a few examples.
Let's talk real estate. Companies use this exact method to predict house prices. Each one of those dots is a house, and that line gives them a baseline for what a house of a certain size should be worth. It's a core tool for pricing and valuation, for sure. And it's huge in economics and HR, too. By plotting salary against years of experience, companies can build models to make sure they're paying people fairly and to predict what their costs will be in the future. For every extra year you work, the line tells you the expected bump in your salary.
And honestly, the list just goes on and on. Businesses use it to forecast their sales. Scientists use it for everything from predicting weather patterns to analyzing the results of medical trials. Even financial analysts use different versions of this to try and spot trends in the stock market. It is everywhere.
So after all that, what's the one core idea you really need to walk away with? Let's just boil it all down.
If you remember just one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. It really is that simple. It's about finding a line, fitting it to your data, and then using that line to predict something new. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're taking this cloud of what looks like random points, and we're drawing a line that tells a simple, powerful story about how one thing affects another. We're turning noise into a narrative.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Just think about your own life or your work. Is there a relationship between how much sleep you get and how productive you feel? Or maybe how much you walk and your energy level? What simple line could predict something important in your world?